Hey YouTube, this is Buckbuster. It's Sunday, March 15th. Just have another ammo score I was wanting to show you guys. Anyway, I live way out in the boonies, so I don't have the luxury of having 4 or 5 Walmarts within a couple of miles of me. So I got to looking on the app last night, and there were some M22s and some more Fed Reds showing in some stores about 80 miles away from me. So I got talking to my wife, and today was my only day off, so I was really wanting to sleep in since I've worked 6 days in a row, but it's hard to pass on the Fed Reds. So anyway, I called the store last night and talked to a woman at the service desk. I just said, can you check a UPC code and see how many you got in stock, and give her the number, and she come back and told me that there was 20. So anyway, I thought 20, all right, maybe there's a chance that we can get some. So anyway, I set the alarm. We got up early and started heading that way. There was another store on kind of off the path of this first store that was showing the M22s, and it had been showing since Thursday. I was afraid to go to that store first because I figured it might be a fluke deal where, something didn't get put in inventory right. But anyway, on the way to the first store, I had my wife call this other store, and she talked to a manager, and she asked her if she would check to see how many they had of this, on this M22. The girl told her that they didn't have any. I said, well, that's okay, we'll go on up to this first store and see if we can get these 550s. And we got to the first store and walked in at 6:58. There was nobody at the ammo counter. A couple minutes later, a guy comes up and asked if he could help us, and we said we was looking for some 22s, and he said, well, we don't have any. And we'd already flint scanned the UPC symbol, and it was showing 20 in stock, so we knew that they had to be there. And we said, well, you're showing that you have them in stock. Could you go back to the back and check? And he said, well, let me find a manager because we don't have a key. So anyway, we start, waiting, and 15 minutes goes by, 20, 30. And, this thing with the key, I don't understand why they don't have the key. They can't find the key. To me, it's just a ridiculous excuse. And finally, the guy comes back, and he said that we got the key and we found them. So he pulls out, the cases, and we get our 3 each. And I'll show you the receipt here. And the first one at 7:47, and we walked in at 6:58. And the second one, 7:48. So we got us a good double dip out of that store. We jumped back in the vehicle and headed back to the store that was showing M22s, and I told my wife, I said, we'll just run in there and flint scan it just to see what it shows, and if it shows 0, fine. If it shows a quantity, then we'll inquire. So anyway, get to that store and walk up to the paint department, and I flint scanned it, and it showed there was 2 in stock. So we went back to the sporting goods counter, and a guy come up and asked if he could help us, and we said, yeah, we're looking for some 22s, and he said, we don't have any. We hadn't had any in several days. So here we go through this spiel again. Well, you're showing 2 of this item here, and he said, well, I don't know where they are. I said, well, can you get a manager? So this assistant manager comes up, and we tell her, they're showing 2 in stock, and she said, well, we don't have any. I've done checked, and we don't have any. And you could tell this girl's kind of disturbed. She was like she was wanting to hurry up and get us out of there, and she didn't really care. And we went through a big long spiel about how my wife got done at the other store on Friday, and she let them know that she'd already called corporate and there was an investigation going on, blah blah blah. But anyway, I think it kind of put some pep in the girl's step. And while we were talking to her manager come up, and this young guy, and he was real nice and friendly. So we went through the spiel again with him about, how it was showing 2, and the woman that we'd called earlier told us there was 0 in stock. So that was just a bald lie. And anyway, I asked the guy if he would mind going and looking in the back. He said, well, I'll look, but we're kind of behind, and so, you know, it could be anywhere if it's in the store. And we said, well, if you don't mind, just go ahead and look. So he took off, and we stood there and chit-chatting, and he wasn't gone no more than 5 minutes. And he said, well, I'm going to make y'all's day. And he had the box in his hand. So when the app shows they've got them, you need to be persistent, because this is proof right here. 1 box in, 1 box out. There's your receipt. It was at 9:36, and I'm waiting for my M22 bracelet. So whoever's in charge of that, help me out. I hope y'all like it. Out.